Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek News. Today I'll be looking at Kaleido by Hinata Oraguchi, published by Oyuan. And the setting for this, something I haven't seen before, is given by the name. You are a kaleidoscope designer during the Edo period, and the Shogun has called you and your fellow kaleidoscope designers, presumably part of a giant guild, and they called you together to compete, as is often the case in these types of games. You gotta prove your stuff, show that you are the kaleidoscopiest. Boom. Here's a setup for a 4-player game of Kaleido, where each player starts with 2 grids, and you have 2 blank tiles and a number of tiles in your color. Apparently the Shogun has made it tougher by giving you only a single color. On your own, that would make a pretty crummy kaleidoscope. But you are competing with everyone else, and you're putting your kaleidoscope together, and your color must shine above the rest to show that you are truly the master. So you start play with 2 grids, and on a turn, you must add one of your tiles to a hole in the grid. In addition, you can choose to, either before or after you place your color one, you can add 1 grid to the board by making it touch one side, at least one side that's already in play, and you have a blank one that you can drop in somewhere. So you're going to be putting the tiles in, all right, taking turns. Obviously, you might want to do this more thoughtfully than I'm doing it. You put them in and you block stuff off, and maybe you're blocking stuff off here, and you score a grid once it's filled. And there are 8 points to the person who has the most tiles, 4 points for the second most. If you tie for the lead, then you each split the points, and you track it on the little point tracker here. Okay, and there's no second place. So 6 for each of you. Hurrah. Point tracker is a little wonky with the triangular tiles. You gotta look under and find the right one, and you circle around the track and then have a tens marker over here. It works. It's a little, well, not ideal. After you finish a grid, if you are the player to put in the final piece, you can, if you want, rotate it, kaleidoscope style, okay? And the point of that is for the end game scoring. So red went, purple goes, you get some stuff in here, maybe yellow spreads themselves around. Here, I'm gonna play like a ding dong just to escalate this, okay? Maybe yellow does this and this. Green comes in to fill it. Yellow gets 8 points for being first. These guys split 4 points, so they get 1 each. All right. And the game is going to continue until everyone has placed all their color pieces. You don't have to place your grids if you don't want to, but, well, sorry, you do have to place your grid if it's your turn and there's no place to play. Okay. Let's see if I complete this here. If I'm yellow, maybe I'll rotate it this way. And green went, red goes, he drops this in, red gets a score, red rotates through here. All right, and the game is going to continue. And you're going to build this big grid over here, scoring points along the way as you're completing these, rotating them. If you were the player to put in the last tile, you may choose to rotate one. You don't have to, but you probably do want to. And let's see, at the end of the game here, you're going to have this big array of tiles, and you look at each hexagon that's created by the intersection of 3 other hexagons. For example, this one right here. And you score those as well. And this is where the rotation comes in during the game. So this hexagon here, you mark it with this stone just so you know you've scored it. Red has the most, so it gets 8 points. Purple has the second, gets 4. If you do this one, green has the most 8, these get 2 each. If you go to this one, no one gets any points because this hexagon is not complete. Okay? Red gets points here, green gets second, and so on. You count them all up, and whoever has the most points wins. There's a run-through of Kaleido. Again, 2 to 5 players. You play 2 players, then each player is going to play 2 colors, and you're going to sum those points at the end of the game. You have to alternate colors as you play, so you can't just double up on one over and over and over again. All right. That gives you a little more going on. What's kind of neat, too, is just the physicality of the pieces. It's kind of a marvel because, first, the rules have to warn you, don't throw these away after you punch them out because they're integral to the game. If you don't have them, it's going to be really tough to try to arrange all the triangles everywhere. But what's more is, so you punch them out in one way, and then you flip them over while you play, and the pieces just sit in here, all right? And you can just put them right back in the box once you're done. But to get them out, you just turn this over, and most of them are going to come out pretty easily. So it's just a neat physical element where, you know, the punching actually matters. You got to put that thought in every little detail to make sure all this stuff works just the right way. It's kind of neat. All those little bits and pieces that come together, little points of appreciation, like the fancy little purple box here. Not used for games, but repurposed for the purpose of this colorful game.